Hi, my name is Robert. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. In this video, I'm helping a buddy replace a ball joint on their Volvo XC90. Ball joints, man, on these trucks, they're a little tough. They actually have a special tool that you could use to get them on. I don't know if it really helps you get them out or not, but it definitely helps you get them on. The thing that you, I guess, will know if you got a bad ball joint, if you get it up and you use some kind of pry tool, you can make that ball joint wiggle in the bottom of that knuckle or on the control arm. So you try to wiggle the control arm, see if it has any movement in the knuckle. Now you can also tell when you're driving. If when you hit the brake you feel any twitch in the steering wheel at all, you likely have a problem with a control arm or a ball joint. I've heard of people saying that the car rattles while it's driving at highway speeds with bad ball joints. Most people get the urge to stay off of the interstate when they get a bad ball joint. Control arms too. So you can get under there and see if it's a ball joint or a control arm. The nice thing about these P2 vehicles, XC90s, XC70s, S60s, those vehicles between 2000 all the way up to 2014 is you can replace those ball joints without the whole control arm. Now if the control arm is trash, replace the whole thing. The tough thing is they're hard to get out of the knuckle. So if you feel uneasy driving highway speeds or you feel any twitching in the steering wheel when you hit the brakes, check out those ball joints. Here's a tool list. Not much of a tool list, but you know, if you got enough tools you can get it done. One thing you do want to do is make sure you have the car solid, firm on a jack stand. If you don't have a big impact gun, you want to break your lug nuts loose before you jack the car up, remove the wheel, and go from there. If you got an impact gun, that helps you get those big truck bolts loose. Even in that S60, XC70, those suspensions heavy duty, a lot more heavy duty than these 850 P80 cars, but you know, you can get a decent sized breaker bar, impact gun, get that stuff loose. You can do it yourself. Took me about an hour and a half. It kind of sucked. I had to beat that ball joint out of the knuckle with a chisel and small sledgehammer. Had like a 2-pound hammer. Had to hit that thing like 100 times on one side to get it started coming out. Then beat it on the other side 20-30 times. It finally popped out. However, I did have to heat that thing up. It wasn't budging until after I heated it up. So that's an option, you know. Heat loosens things up when it comes to metal parts together. So I hope this video helps. Thanks for watching. Ball joint came out of its socket. You gotta get those things to come out of the knuckle, bottom of the knuckle. That's doable. Long time ago. He's got a ball joint, and if we can get that out of there, we could probably fix this control arm. The rest of the control arm looks good. No cracking in the bushings or nothing like that. When your ball joint comes loose, your strut assembly just hangs and dangles. So this thing could fishtail around, and it fishtailed into the front of the fender well, fishtailed into the back, then the fender a little bit, push the fender out from the door a little bit. No real big deal on a vehicle that you're not using for show. So what we got to do now is get under here and take these 2 bolts loose that bolt the ball joint to the knuckle. Then we got this big bolt here that bolts the ball joint through the control arm. 13, is this an impact? Yep. That'll get it. Then let me see your, give me that big one. Whatever that big one is.
That's a 21.
Yeah, that's probably closer. Yeah, got a 21 here. So we're going to pop this 21, pop these 2 13, try to tap this ball joint out of the control arm. Then try to move this off of here and get this ball joint tapped down out of the knuckle.
They have a special puller for that, so let's see what happens. Pulled the bolt out of the ball joint, 21 millimeter. Then I pried it down with this fork and tapped the bottom of it with a sledge until it come up out of there. Now the tough part's going to be here, getting this part of the ball joint out of the knuckle. People do that with an air hammer. They beat that thing down there. We're going to try to put a chisel on there and tap it down on both sides, going back and forth until we get that thing out of the knuckle here. Top of the ball joint out of the knuckle. Got it out, put a lot of heat on it for about 2-3 minutes with some MAP gas. Then I put the chisel up along here, tapped it down a little bit, it started separating, and I went on the other side, tapped it down about 10-15 times, and it popped out. So heat is the way. Woo woo. Started to screw a little bit, got them started, then I snugged them down, didn't tighten them. See, the arm started bending on it. Then I got this chisel here, put it up right here like that, start tapping it in with the sledgehammer, 2-pound sledge. Moved over to each side, tapped it in. Screws got loose, then I snugged the screws down again, tap it in. You don't have a tool, it takes a while, but you could tap it in with a chisel. And we're going to keep tapping until it's flush, and then we're going to get this control arm over this ball joint piece here and screw that on and be done. We got it tapped up by the chisel, bolts tightened in. We got it, man. We went around it, chiseling it several times around different little short jabs at it. Now we're about 1.5 inches out. So we're going to have to lower this, push this stuff in, then jack it up and try to get it lined up with this ball joiner. We'll never get that in. So we're going to let this down, try to push this in and jack it up and wiggle this through there. That's going to be a tough one, getting that lined up so we can hook it. We could not get the stem of that ball joint on until we disconnected the strut up here. So we pulled those 2 bolts out of the strut, pried the strut in and out of the way over top of this CV axle. Then we was able to lift that up on there, get that screw started. Then we maneuvered this back in, got that tightened down. Then we put a rotor hole pin in the hub here. Now we're going to put the wheel on. Then we'll get Miss K to test drive it. And if she makes it back, we did a good job. Here we have it, folks. One wheel is connected like the other. Hey, can you put them straight? I come over here, it's all turned the other way. Just leave it like that for a second. That wheel's relatively straight. And that wheel's relatively straight. So we're back in business. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.